Hey guys, I'm Aisha.
I'm Emily.
Welcome to Picked Up Parenting.
Where coffee's required
Laundry is optional.
and motherhood is always worth talking about. Hi guys, welcome back to part 2. We apologize for the abrupt cuts in this. We were not prepared for it to be a 2-part episode at first, so we're making do. But anyways, we're going to jump right back in. Thanks for watching. So I started, I had the energy that I could pick it up and run. So I started running. And then the next thing that was really good for me was, so we run the ridge and then we drop back down into Dalton. So it was a lot of downhill. So I started running that downhill, and Wayne was hiking up, and he turns and he looks at me and he goes, I have Tyler, Melanie has you, we have a plan, just go with it. And I was like, okay, they have a plan. I need to trust my pacers at this point. Like, probably in my head, I'm not in the right headspace. So I just need to trust them.
Yeah, because
So,
for how many hours in a week?
man, I don't even know. I
You're
can't
in
even
your
tell you.
second half of the race though, because you have these pacers, and so
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
already in over 50
So
miles,
we're
no sleep.
60,
Like,
we're 68 miles
yeah,
probably at this point.
and running well beyond the
Well,
normal.
no,
At some point
yeah,
you would have been
no,
sleeping, but
we're
you
probably
you
like
don't get sleep.
70. Yeah, no sleep, no sleep. We're probably like 70 something in actually at that point.
So for
So
those not
I was
calculating, the time cutoff is run 2 days straight, and that's the time
pretty much,
cutoff. Like
yeah, pretty much
34 hours, just less than
30, 34 hours.
yeah.
Yeah,
A day and 12
yeah.
hours. So there's normally you'd be getting sleep in there in a normal everyday life, but you don't get sleep. You're just running that day in 12 hours.
Yep. Yeah. So we I come into Dalton and I'm an emotional mess. Like, this is where I like my two big emotional breakdowns were the turnaround, because I thought I was ruining Tyler's race, and then the second emotional breakdown was like, what's going to happen to Tyler now? Like, like, do I wait for him here and risk the race? Do I keep going? Like, what? And then I just like remember Wayne being like, just, we got the plan, just follow it. So I get there and Melanie hands me a fresh pair of shorts and she's like, go change. Give me your shoes, give me your socks, go change your muddy shorts. You're not going to tell me no. Like, you're going to take the time. We're going to do that. We have some time. You take the time to change. And they like fed me, they bandaged my feet again, like we redid my feet. And then Melanie's like, let's go. We have a certain amount of time to get you to the next aid station by 2:30, and we have a little over 13 miles to go.
All,
Which,
in total?
for that stint. Okay. Okay.
Well, what's this?
It's a microphone. Isn't that cool?
Is this yes?
No, it's, yeah, Aisha's. Yeah. Can I finish telling the story? You want to be quiet?
The microphone.
Okay, you can hold. Okay, sorry. So Melanie's like, let's go. We're gonna go. Like, I have to push you. So hottest part of the day, and it's a pretty big climb at that point. So we are climbing, and I remember telling Melanie, like, Tyler's really good at climbing. Maybe he can catch up. And she's like, yeah, maybe, but I just need you to focus on you. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can do that.
Man, what a trust game, because really at this point you're like sleep deprived and tired, and like you just have to like lean into your pace.
So you need someone else to just think for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Melanie is like so good. All of our pacers were amazing. They were exactly what we needed when we had them. So that was a total God thing too. It was just funny to see where God placed our pacers. And we had some pacers that had to switch out and actually be put at different spots than we originally had planned. And it was like perfect. Like, it ended up being perfect. So we knew Melanie was taking the stint, but she just like talked and talked. And I remember at one point being like, you're saying stuff to me, but I'm not understanding. Like, I'm not getting all of it. And she was like, that's okay. I'm here to just distract you, and I'm here to talk at you. All I want you to say is yes, no, and maybe a nod. And she's like, but that's like, you don't have to say anything else. And I'm like,
Which is
okay.
so wise, because like to get lost in like silence, that would be really hard for the human brain to
Yeah.
that long. Yeah.
And she was just good. She like told me, well, this is what I thought. I thought she told me at one point that I was like a border collie that I just like listened really well and obeyed. And that is not actually what she said to me. I found this out in the group text after the fact because somebody was telling me how stubborn I was. And I was like, actually, I'm like a border collie. Melanie said so. And she goes, that is not what I said. I said you were like a German Shepherd and you were very stubborn. You were not like a border collie. And I was like, oh, see, that's what your brain does when you're sleep deprived and working really hard. So, but I like seriously thought that's what she told me. So we get to the Crooked Tree aid station and then that's a no crew. So we quickly just like grab some water, grab some ice and head out. And then we are heading to Elk Creek. Okay, just a second. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay, this is not a toy, it's a tool. So can you go color me a picture?
Go
No.
color Auntie a picture. Auntie wants a
Can
good
you go
picture.
color Auntie Aisha a picture? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. A unicorn, perfect.
I love unicorn
Perfect.
pictures.
Okay.
This?
Nope, that's not a toy.
But
Okay.
like I was playing with it.
Okay, go color Auntie Aisha a picture.
Yeah, I want all the unicorns.
I'm recording something right now.
Hey, girl.
I'm recording something right now.
Let me be
Go.
here.
Okay,
I
so
will record.
let me finish. I'm almost done. Okay, so basically we had to get to that next aid station by 2:30 and we are about a quarter of a mile from that aid station. But we only have like 5 minutes and it's straight uphill. And Melanie was like worried. I didn't know this at the time, but she was really worried I was having heat stroke, like signs of heat stroke. And she's like, your head was like wobbling back and forth. And she was like, I was like really getting worried. She's like, I was getting so worried that she texted Wayne to come down and meet her, which Wayne did come down and meet us, but I didn't know that's why. So like that's all the stuff that like in my head at that moment, I didn't know why Wayne was coming down. I just was like, oh, Wayne's coming to help take me up to the aid. And he like puts his arm around me and is like, you're doing great, keep it up. And Melanie's like, stop hugging her, I have to get her to that aid station by 2:30. We don't have time for you to hug her. And Wayne goes, you have a whole hour, like you have until 3:30. And she's like, what? Nobody told me that. Anyways, we made it to the aid station right at 2:30. We get checked in.
Way to go, Melanie, for making her time.
Yep, way to go, Melanie. And the smartest thing, which I think this was my mom's idea, she was there, was to put my feet in ice. So they like stripped my socks and shoes. They put my feet in ice. They like got my shirt wet. They got my hat wet. They made me eat. They made me drink.
I fixed it now.
Thank you.
Man, that is smart because you sweat a lot. So anytime that you can cool your skin and close the pores.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I felt after that aid station, I felt really good again. And Tyler, I forgot to tell you guys this. So when he came into Dalton, he was like hurting pretty bad and like not feeling good, and his feet were messed up. And they all made the decision at that point that he probably shouldn't continue, even though they didn't tell me that. But when I saw Wayne, I pretty much knew that he was out because I was like, Wayne would be with him if, you know. So that was the first time that I'm like, where's Tyler? And they were like, he's back at the camp with the girls and they're cheering you on and he wants you to keep going. And yeah, so he got like 75 miles in, which I mean is still super incredible. Like yeah, he did so good. And especially with like hurting as much as he was and still being able to get 75 miles in, he did amazing. So I just remember, and my mom, the aid stations that she was not at, she would like send these text messages to Tina. And Tina would read these text messages from my mom, and they were so motivating and so encouraging. And she was just like, you've got this, keep going for your kids, for like, you want to accomplish this. You want to do this. So it like all her text messages were super encouraging and like really kept me motivated. And then she was at that aid station. And I just remember her like grabbing onto my shoulders and like grabbing my face and like looking at me and being like, you can do this. Your body can do this. You, like, I know you feel like you can't, but you can. And I remember being like, okay, I can do this. And I had like 18 miles left because this race was 108 miles, according to our watches at least. Online it says 105, but that's debatable. On our watches it said 108. So I had like 18 miles left. When Tyler dropped, he asked if Wayne would take that 10 or 11 mile section. Just a moment. You girls need to go out. You're being way too loud. Okay.
Come on, microphone.
Everybody out.
Microphone.
Everybody out.
Microphone.
Everybody out. Thank you. Everybody out.
We didn't get to
Later.
introduce Megan, but she has three girls at home. And as always, guys, we expect interruptions from our children because we're just moms.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Moms trying to chat about motherhood, and that always includes children present.
Yes.
Can't be a mom without kids, so.
Yeah,
What would we be if we didn't have our children around us?
So now they think it's a game.
So how did it mess with your head knowing that Tyler wasn't with you anymore?
So at that point, he like sent the message with my mom that like he wanted me to finish regardless of him not finishing. He was like, do this for us, do this for our girls. Like, I'm here to cheer you on. So obviously, yes, like just a moment. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
You guys are being way too loud right now. I turned on a movie. You got to go watch the movie. Okay, thank you. Let's hope that worked. So, yeah, I mean, yes, it messes with your head, but it also, like, at that point, I was like, he's right. Like, I need to go finish this.
You need to tell us something.
You can't right now. Okay.
Was it at all a relief not having a second person to be like accounting for in your brain, like brain space? Like, because I'm sure you're worried, like not in a bad way, like not in a mean way, but like
Yeah.
he was
So I
explaining-
was really worried about him. I was worried, like, there's a couple conditions that you can get, rhabdo being one of them. And like that kind of was a concern just with some of his symptoms. I was a little worried about that. And that can be a serious thing. So I definitely was like concerned. Melanie's a nurse. So I also was like, her expertise of like assessing Tyler, she'll know what to do. So if she like says he needs to drop, I like totally trust that.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, yes, I didn't have to worry about him in that aspect anymore. So that was, I don't want to say nice because you're still like emotionally sad. So
it was like sad that he couldn't do it with you, but also like because like we all know that headspace, like when we're concerned for another person, like it takes up space in what you're trying to do in your brain.
yeah, so you were torn, like you were emotionally sad, so you have that emotional side of like sadness, but then you have that relief of like not having to worry about them. So yeah, so you're torn. But so Wayne took me from that point on, not on. He took me for the next 11 miles. And he like made this water bottle with a hole in the top, and he was like, I'm just gonna spray you down every time I think you're getting too hot. And he was like, we're power hiking the uphills and we're running the downhill. That's what we're doing. And by this time I'm chasing cutoffs. Like I know that I have to like be at the next station and I have to hustle. So that's pretty much what Wayne and I do is we hike the power hike the uphills and then run the down. And that's when I started hallucinating. Which that's a fun experience if you've never had it before because it started with like a black snake. I ran and that I wasn't sure if I was hallucinating at that point. There was like a black snake and I said, hey, did we just run over a black snake or am I hallucinating? And Wayne goes, I don't know. I didn't see a black snake. And I'm like, interesting. And then I look up and I see this tree fort and I'm like, that's not real. Because it started like changing shape. And I was like, hey, Wayne, I see a tree fort. And he's like, really? Tell me what it looks like. And I'm like, it's made out of plywood and it has black trim. And yeah. And he's like, oh, that's crazy. And then
I feel like just like so everyone is keeping tabs here listening. This is well over 24 hours of running continuously. So like this is like she's in her last 18 miles. This is well over the 24-hour mark of no sleep.
Yeah.
Running continuously.
And so I see this like spotted cat which as I ran up to it closer, it was a log. And then I see a rattlesnake wrapped around my pole. But my funniest and my favorite hallucination is every single rock that I would look at, like tiny rocks, big rocks, all rocks, had charcoal drawn faces, and all the faces were like different. They were different. Okay. I'm sorry.
Someone's being mean.
I feel like these rocks were to keep her company.
Yeah, so Wayne was with me on all of those, and he basically was like, kind of like, just describe to me what they are, and blah, blah, blah. And then the other funny thing was, as we were running into that last aid station, there was a tornado warning, and I didn't know that. But it like comes in this wind, and Wayne just is like, oh, looks like we're gonna have another thunderstorm. Are you ready for that? And I'm like, bring it on. What else can go wrong, you know? And then all of a sudden it like disappeared, and he goes, I bet your dad prayed that one away. And I'm like, I think we all were praying that one away. And it like just disappeared. And then we got to that aid station, and I told Wayne that I wanted to strip because we only had 7 miles at that point, supposedly. I swear the mileage got like the distance between aid stations got further and further apart. But I told him I wanted to strip my vest, and I wanted to just carry a water bottle, and then I wanted to just run like as little weight on me as possible. So that's what we did. But they had taken my poles, and I didn't realize that until I was about a quarter of a mile away, and I was just using my poles more for like, I don't want to say balance, but kind of balance as I was running downhill, because my legs were pretty wobbly by that point. And we were 100 miles in, right? Because it was 108. So we had, we were over 100 miles in. And I wanted the only thing that sounded good from the time Wayne picked me up, and that was the aid station I dropped him off at. So that 11 mile, all I wanted to eat was Rice Krispie treats, goo, and coffee. That was it. That's all I wanted. All of my
Man, you
I
know
could
you
stomach.
love coffee when 100 miles in on a race. That's what you're thinking about.
That's what I'm thinking about. I have the best video of me coming into an aid station, and they're like, "What do you need?" And I'm like, "Coffee." And they're like, "Where do we get that?" And they're like, "We don't have that for you." It was just like kind of funny. Yeah, I wanted coffee. So I get to that aid station. They hand me a popsicle, which that was really refreshing.
Yeah.
And Tyler says it's all downhill. And so they take my trekking pole, and Erin Danner's with me, pacing me at that point. And she was perfect at that time, because she was just like, you got this. Take a look at God's beauty. You're doing this. I'm so proud of you. You're so strong. You're such a strong woman. You're beautiful. Like, I was just like,
Very Aaron
thanks,
Tanner.
Sarah.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
Thank you.
She was just like, she was fresh legs, right? So she's just like hopping
Yeah.
down this mountain, and I'm like,
And
I
Aaron
wish
Tanner
I
does
could.
give off like the Energizer Bunny vibes, like in
Yeah,
that scenario. Yeah.
yeah, it was so funny. And she was like perfect though to have at that time in the race. She was like perfect. And then Melanie decided to come kind of along as well, just to keep time for us. So she was just like running behind me, like keeping time. And it was not all downhill. It was a lot of uphill before the downhill. So I was like, my trekking poles. I wish I had them. And I knew we were super tight on the cutoff. So Melanie would be like, you are going to come in with like 20 minutes left. You are going to come in with like, 15 minutes left. Okay, you have 30 minutes. You got to pick it up. Like, so she was doing that. And so I'm trying to think of what. So I like just kept trying to push and push and push. And it was so hot. I just remember being like, this is so hot and this is never going to end. Like, and I just remember like we ran next to a road, like a paved road, for like a mile and a half, and I'm like, where is this road? Like, why am I not coming to this road yet? And finally we get to that road, and I feel like it was a lot longer than a mile and a half. So we like ran down that road, and the pavement was so hot. And
Yeah.
I remember seeing my mom off in the distance and being like, oh, I'm almost there. And then realizing that that wasn't the finish. So
See, this was deceiving because I remember I had someone, Tyler, girl Tyler, another Tyler we know from the gym, was texting me, and I show her like a screenshot of Life 360. I was like, "Look, there's Debbie, there's Megan, like she's almost there." And then you get to Debbie, and then you guys are keep running. I was like, "Well, that was deceiving." Poor Megan.
yeah, so in my head at that point, like I don't remember those last two legs of like the between aid stations or anything. Like I didn't remember how the train was, nothing at that point. And my brain's not working at 100% either. So like I see my mom thinking that's the finish line, and then I'm like, oh no, I still have like this whole parking lot I have to run through, and then I have to like, and then I thought where my dad was standing was the finish line, and I'm like, oh no, and then I have to like turn and go up this green grass to the finish line. So it was just like in my head it wasn't tracking like right, but and I just remember Melanie at one point being like, Megan, you got to pick it up. You're going to only have like 5 minutes remaining. And I was like, where did like 30 minutes to spare go from 30 minutes to spare to like 5 minutes remaining? And I still can't tell you where that, like, because we were moving the whole time and we were running. So I honestly can't tell you where that, like we fell short on that, or if like the time was just figured wrong, and or maybe my brain just misunderstood it wrong. Like I don't know, but like I just remember Melanie, Aaron, and Wayne, the people that paced us, they like met me at one point and they all were running with me, and then I saw my mom, and then my mom started running with me, and they were just like, you have to pick it up or you're not going to make it. So my brain just like dialed in, like I tuned out everything, tuned out everyone, and I just was like, make it to the finish. I have to make it to the finish. And so that's what I did. So basically I just dialed it in and ran, and I remember Reagan popping out and like running with me. Reagan's my middle, and running with me to the finish. And I probably would have, like, if I would have had more time, I probably like would have picked her up and like ran through. But I was like, I have to make it before the cutoff, and I don't know where I'm at. So I just like took off. But I have a very cute video of her and Reichley like running with me to the finish, and I like remember giving Tyler a high five on the side. um and so then I crossed the finish line and we did it. And I could not have done it without the team. Like this was not a solo thing. Like this was the only reason why I finished was because of the team. And I think physically my body was great. Physically my body handled it really well. My recovery since has been really good too. But mentally is where I probably would have given up. Like if I wouldn't have had the team, I would have like sabotaged myself in thinking that I couldn't make it to the next cutoff in time.
Yeah.
But like having their clear head being like, they knew I physically could make it to the next, and they just were like, we're not letting you quit. Like, let's go. Where if it was just Tyler and I, and we probably would have, like, if we would have tried to do it alone, I think I like, if he would have slowed down, I would have been worried about him. I wouldn't like if he would have quit, then like me trying to do it alone and like not knowing if I could make it to the next, I think that's where I would have sabotaged myself, and either I would have slowed down and not made it to the next cutoff, or I would have quit and given up because I would have thought I couldn't have done it. So it definitely is a win due to the fact that I had a team.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah.
I love
It was
the
fun.
ending. I love the ending where you get to like balance being a mom and also still like prioritizing finishing for yourself.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, so that is, and it's funny, I have a video where Melanie, she's like, what do you get? What do you get when you finish? And I'm like, that's one of the questions she asked me while we were out there, and I'm like, a belt buckle. And she's like, you're doing all this for a belt? Not really the belt buckle, but this is the belt buckle that you get.
If you're watching on YouTube, you guys see this gorgeous belt buckle.
Yeah.
What state was this in?
South Dakota.
Okay.
The Black Hills.
The Black Hills,
beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. I highly recommend that
Great
race.
area.
17,000 feet of elevation gain over the course of 100 miles, but it was like so beautiful. So
How many people were at the race? Do you know?
Give us the ending
So,
statistics.
yeah,
told me
so 130, I want to say 138, 130 something were signed up. 53 people finished,
Wow.
and only 8 of those were female.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
That's
okay,
impressive.
this is like a thought I was having in the middle of you saying this, because I feel like moms are gonna listen and be like, she could do this, and I like could never. And I just want to say, because I know Meghan, like I have been married to her brother like 13 and a half years. I've seen Meghan in some really like rough times. I've seen Meghan in some great times. Like I've seen her, I just feel like I can't quite place words on the fact of how like she's just like a run of the mill like lady. Like she's not like, not that you're not special, Meghan,
You're
but like,
so-
No, but I'm not.
I've seen Meghan lose it and yell at her brothers, or get frustrated with her kids, or like be mad at her husband, or like
I was on the race.
snippy with each other. And like it's just like she's not any different than like me or Emily or anyone listening. She's quite literally not. It's really the fact that she decided that she was going to put in the time and effort and just stuck to it. Like that's the only difference. Like standing between you and doing something hard is quite literally just the time you want to commit.
And I think that was part of the motivation too for me, was like, I want to be a good example for our gym family of like, they can do anything. Because do you know how many times I hear people that are like, I can't do a half marathon? I'm like, yes, you can. It depends on if you want to take the time to do it or not.
Yes.
Like, that's really what it comes down to, is where are you going to put your time? And are you going to wake up in the morning when you don't want to get out of bed? And are you going to put in the time to do it?
Yeah.
Like that's what it comes down to. It's like, and again, I think we touched on this earlier, is like, it's not going to look perfect. It's not going to be perfect, but I want people, and including like, it was a huge motivation was our gym family, but other moms too, to realize like, you can do this. Like you said, I'm nothing special. I'm not I'm not super fast at running. That's not like,
If there's
like
Megan shines in its strength. She's really strong,
Yeah.
guys. She's like,
Yeah, I'm like,
weightlifting, amazing. Like, and she's had to earn
that's
a lot of
definitely
the other
my
athletic stuff.
my jam. But I wanted to push myself and try something that I knew I wasn't gonna be great at, and see what I could do. So yeah.
So 250 is next, right?
What is next, Megan? What are you up to next?
I'm not gonna say I would never do one of these again, but here's the thing, and this is me being 100% honest, is the training for something like this
Yes.
is not really where I want to put my time right now.
Yes.
It's not the sport that I want to be like I don't like, this is not going to be my main sport, if that makes sense. Just because of how long, like because of the training side of it. That's my 100% honesty, is like, do I enjoy doing them? Yes. I'm never going to say I'm not going to do it again, because I know this is usually what happens, is somebody's like, are you going to do this? And I'm like, no, never. And then I do it and I'm like, I'm eating my words. So like when you said 250, I'm like, I wouldn't think so, but who knows?
I could talk a lot on here because we really like we talk a lot on doing hard things, but the caveat to that is always the balance of doing hard things with having little kids around, because even like the ultimate hard thing is just being the mom and being like, but then like being that example and finding the balance between how much time do I want to draw away from time with them I'm not going to get back for doing it. Like, so finding the things that strike that balance, or doing something knowing that you had to give up a lot of time to do this, but it's probably not something you're doing consistently in the future.
You're always going to be sacrificing something.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And so that was something somebody said. They're like, how do you do it all? And I'm like, well, I didn't do laundry this week. The dishes aren't done this week. My house suffered, next week it might be some time with my children, or time with my husband.
You can go do a hard thing knowing that that's not what you always have to do. Like, it's not like now I have to do 100 miles every year. You did it, and now you're like, I did that. I can put that aside. That took up a lot of time. I know it's not for me all the time, or going on into the next season. Because I also think we assume that if we start doing something, like, we have to continue, and that's just like, but you don't. You can do a hard thing and then put it aside and say, that was too much time for me to continue. I want to do something
Yeah.
else.
I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I took the time when I did. But yeah, it's like not something that I want to like. I'm not going to say I will never do one again because I kind of want to go back and try to beat my time that I did on that course. But here's the other thing about ultra running that I'm learning is you can even do the same course and like not have a thunderstorm, and of course your
Yeah.
time is going to be better. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Well,
there's a
I've
lot
told
of
you about
things that
that
can play.
other lady who did the Utah course, and she finished in like 16 hours or something. And on her first time, she was breaking records. But you're like, well, that's a different it's a different train. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
change. It's not
Yeah.
the same every time.
And a pro versus
Well, yeah.
I mean, I know she's not. I know that was her first 100, but she's like a runner.
She is a runner. She's like sponsored and has no kids, and that's gonna be
Yeah.
different.
So did you struggle with like not meeting your A and B goal and just finishing, or
I
were you
think
just
that's
happy?
always no. I think that's always a struggle, right? Like now, I think that's the reason why I'm like I could go back and do it again because I didn't hit those A and B goals, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm not thrilled with my time by any means, but I am like and I finished. So obviously I'm happy with finishing because
Yeah.
there was people that pushed and didn't finish, right?
Yeah.
Like as in they they crossed the finish line but they never got a time because they were past the cutoff. So like they didn't get a belt buckle, they didn't get a time. They got the 108 miles in. But so like the fact that I crossed the finish line, I got the belt buckle and like that, yeah, like I'm thrilled. But like there is a little bit of me that's like I could have done better, you know? So maybe I say that.
Yeah, maybe.
But you don't know.
You know.
I think it's super cool that you did that.
Man.
Aisha was updating me the entire time, and I was like, "Come on, Meghan."
I had
Yeah.
girl Tyler from the gym. She was texting me. She's like, "Where's she at? Where's she at? Check. Where's she at? How's she doing?" And I was like, checking Life 360. My daughter, like throughout the day, was like, "We have to pray for Aunt May May. She's running right now." And I was like,
Yeah, I felt those prayers too, man. Like there were times that I literally turned to my crew and I was like, I don't know if I have 18 miles left. That's when my mom like grabbed me. Yes, you do. Your body can do this. Okay. But like those prayers are definitely what got me through. So
I bet those last 8 miles felt like the longest too, like knowing that you already ran 100. And like, I mean, 8 miles is not a short distance. Most people don't just go out and run 8 miles every day. But it's short compared to 100. But
yeah,
at the end, I'm sure it felt like 100 itself.
Now 8 miles seems pretty short to me, but I'm like, yeah, but in consideration, you're right. It just was so hot at that point, and I was just ready to be done.
I love
And like
the
I wanted to
mindset
see
shift.
my girls.
I just love the mindset shift that you're just like now, like because you've done it, you're like 8 miles is like nothing. Like go run 8 miles for fun now. Like this is nothing.
It's like dessert.
Yeah. Well, it's such
Just
a cool
quick little run.
I always tell people like when you do something new, like you have to do it until you're like it feels familiar, and then it becomes. Then you look back and you're like, doing that again is easy. Like you're so familiar with running that you're just like, 8 miles is nothing. I'll go do that after dinner.
Yeah.
Wow. So what's next? Do you have an idea for your next big thing?
I don't have like a no, not yet.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I mean, I have some ideas that I'm kicking around, but I'm not like
Not committed to anything
You
yet.
know what's next? Well, except that's like it's her hard in like 7 years as her and I are going on. What's that show?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race. We said when we were done having kids, we were gonna hit Amazing Race. I
There you
have
go.
one more baby, and I was like, we gotta make this happen.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Tyler, when I turned 35, he was like, what do you want to do? What are the 5 things you want to do before you turn 40? And I gave him a list and 100 miles was on there. So, yeah. So that was one of them. The Amazing Race was one of
I just feel
or
like
at
they'd
least-
have to pick us if we put in for the Amazing Race, they'd have to pick us because we're these moms of like all these kids, and you have to like
Absolutely.
you just have to cast
I'd
us.
watch that.
Who wouldn't?
I love that show. And like what a cool life experience.
Right? That would be super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Life experiences with my kids, with my family, so
Man,
yeah.
that makes me think like choosing to do something hard. Like, I feel like I should think of something for next year for our family to like achieve as hard. Like, I was just like, is there a big hike we want to like train for together or something? Like, I just feel like that'd be a really cool culture building is like choose something really hard to do as a family every year because you get to do those hard things together and like create those bonds. Like,
It is funny. I've used that. I didn't think I was going to use it with my kids as much as I have now. But I'll be like, when they think something's really hard, for some reason, Reagan, for instance, she wanted to play T-ball, but like when we got her there, she was like in tears and didn't want to go out on the field. And like we had this whole thing. So like I like pulled her to the side and I was like, do you think mom was nervous when I stepped up to that start line? She was like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, mom was really nervous. But guess what? I went out and did it. And I'm so happy I did. I'm like, was it hard? Yeah, it was really hard. Did I need a lot of help? Yes, I absolutely needed a lot of help. But like, I finished, and I know that you can get out there, and it might be hard, and you might need a lot of help, and it might be scary, but guess what? You can do it. And I'm that example. And she was like, you're right. And we got her out there. But like, pretty cool that I can now use that as like a thing. And, they like watched it the whole time, and they were in tears when we were out in the storm. Like they were so nervous and so scared. And my mother-in-law actually made the comment that like kids shouldn't have to go through that. But I honestly feel slightly different. And I'm like, what a way for kids to grow their faith in God is like seeing their parents do that sort of thing. Right. So I looked at it slightly different. But yeah, so I think that sometimes when we choose to do hard things, and our kids are watching, it's like a great way to instill those like memories in their little brain so that they can like kind of dig deep. At least that's what I'm hoping. And they can kind of like pull those back up.
I love that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
for coming on here today, Megan.
Wanna
This
say
is,
bye?
yeah, that was
Good.
Bye, girlfriend. I hope everyone's inspired and just loves this. And well, that's sad. Way to be. Thank you for being honest, though.
We'll go do that.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, that was super cool to listen to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's Emily.
Now I have kids screaming. So we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, thank
Whatever
you.
topic we decide.
Let you
Thank
have.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Let you